Hello and welcome to the fifth part of this Balloon video tutorial series. And today we are in Krita, the free painting program, and I actually use that for my matte painting. You see here all the different layers and this. And yeah, today we're gonna have a look how I made the matte painting. Of course, you can just overlay an image in the background, but I actually use the set bars of the scene to add a little bit of dust. And if this would be just one flat image, this wouldn't be possible. So let's see. Let me think really quick. Do I want to start a totally new Krita file? Yes, I think I will. So I open, let's see. So I open this image, and you see it is the image I downloaded from a website. I don't know how it is called, but this is the basic image. And now I want to separate all the different layers of perspective. So this is one, for example. I use a bamboo Wacom tablet, bamboo, and yeah, what makes it lots easier. So I move the canvas with, let's see, actually with the middle mouse button. It's a little bit confusing for me because I use the pen, and I'm not quite sure which pen is which. I just use it because I made my own setup. I can show that really quick. So you'll see my top button is a middle mouse, the bottom one is the right, and the normal tip is the left. So I navigate with the right. When I want to have the brush, I simply press the B and the numpad. When I want to make the brush bigger, I press Shift, and then with the with the left mouse click, I simply drag the size. When I want to erase, I simply press E. Yeah, these are the basic shortcuts. And now it would make sense to you maybe to erase just everything except when I separate this, erase everything except that. Let's see, erase. But we want to have, for example, when we paint like that and we want to have that back, we don't have any chance to get that back. And there are masks for that are called transparency mask. So when you right click on a layer, you can add a transparency mask, and now you just have black and whites, because everything that is white means it's totally visible, and everything black is transparent. And the great thing is, when I painted it right in here false, I can later adjust it and simply get this back. So this is like the alpha channel of an image. So yeah, as I said, I want to start with the first layer, and this is this part. And for that, I zoom in a little bit, make the brush smaller with holding Shift, and select the black color to erase. And yeah, erase that. But let's see, actually, yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm on the right line. And you can erase a little bit more inwards, so you don't get too black border right in here. And you can adjust it later as you want. So here make the brush a little bit smaller. So you see, here's the edge between the foreground and the background. When you think it's easy, you can also use the select tool and then make a mask with that, but yeah, I think the erasing method works quite fine. So now I'm gonna keep going on here. So this would be a part of that, so this right in here, but I gonna erase that. And then go up here. And then here. So I think this is going to be a really long one, but I think I just show you basic methods I use or techniques, and the rest I will use my finished files, so I don't have to redo everything again, because it's really repetitive stuff. So just erasing along an edge just in the foreground and the edge just in the background, and yeah, nothing fancy. So right in here, it doesn't matter when you erase a stone or so. It's just a rough outline. So let's see, I actually erased a wrong corner right up here, because right now I start to see that this edge actually goes right in here, and it's good when you zoom out at some time, because then you will notice that you sometimes followed a wrong edge or a wrong corner, and yeah, that saves you also some time, because when you erase something wrong and you still follow this edge, and then you think you're finished, and then you zoom out and then you notice that it actually was totally wrong, then you have to redo that again. So yeah, so I think this is my first part right in here, and now I make a bigger brush and make it a little bit smaller maybe. And just roughly erase here. Maybe you select a little bit harder edge one. And I think I will turn off the size dynamic. So turn off X and Epsilon tilt and turn off pressure. Now it should have the same size. Let's see. So, and you see, this is really repetitive stuff and quite boring to watch too, but it has to be made, and in the final image it looks quite nice, I think. So you don't do the work for nothing, So you have a really nice image when you make that job well. And it's much faster than creating an actual 3D scene. So it is its time worth. So now we can just select a big brush and just erase that. So, and erase everything here in the back. And you see we have our first separation. You can smooth this a little bit if you wanted to. And we have here some stuff going on. If you wanted to, you can smooth this with a really soft brush and then go along the corners, but I will leave it as it is. And I duplicate that one and hide the first one. And now I simply try to invert the mask. So I selected the transparency mask and press Ctrl and I. And now I have this first separation right in here. But when you think of that, when you lay it in Blender, this will be on top. So this is in the foreground, and this image is in the back, like we have it here in Krita. So I want to sorry, I'm in Blender right now with my mind. You have to erase. No. Choose the white color. You have to add a little bit back of that transparency. Actually, not so much. Just a little bit around the corner. Because when I cut it away too much in the foreground right here, the background will cover that. And from the view of the camera, it actually looks like a flat image, and so that should work really fine. So now we're gonna adjust this mask, so make the brush a little bit smaller, again with shift and the left mouse button. You can name your layers, but I don't think it's necessary. So I inverted the mask again. And add a little bit of white here. Again, add a little bit of the details back. If the mask is incorrect. Or like for example here we had a little bit of half transparency, and if that would shine through in Blender it wouldn't look too nice. So actually let's see, I think I want to separate now that part. So here, and this is the last I do, and then I will use my already finished ones, but as I want to show you how or which settings I use to export, because this is actually quite important. And then we will go to Blender and set it up there. Yeah, but I don't. Oh, I think I show you how I made the mountain, the snowy one. So I actually will do that as well now, before we go to Blender. So I want to get rid of that. And zoom out to see if you're on the right edge, and I am. Yeah, that looks nice, nice. And actually, let's see. Remove that stuff right in here. Also a little bit of that. Here, add it back in. And now this. So, so you see now we have 3 layers, all separated. And yeah, I will bring in really quick my mountain. And let me think, under graphics, landscapes, let's see, landscape, and turn this snowy mountain, and insert it as a new layer, and then press Ctrl and T, so you can move it, and actually press Ctrl and rotate it to get that perspective rotation thing. And I should reset this rotating point, and I think something like that should work. And smaller. So here maybe. This is going to be really quick because I don't want to waste too much time on that. So add in a transparency mask here as well. Transparency mask. And I want to cut away from down here. And actually, yeah, try with that position first. And set down the opacity right here with E. E and O will change the strength of your brush. And let's see. So, and yeah, what I basically did was I positioned that a little bit better. So see it here. And in the back here I added another image as well and made a little color correction. You see it was really red. And for that I added a color layer and set it to color. You can see the layer itself. So this was the layer itself. Show it really quick. So this was the layer itself, a really blue color. And then I set it to color, set down the strength, and now I get rid of this red. And here I just added transparency, added a little bit back, positioned it a little bit better, and then I separated all these images and I added a sky in the back. So you see that one and the sky in the back. Yeah. And then I enable just one layer at a time. Let's see which this one, and enable one layer at a time. So you see here's a mistake. And then I press Control, or actually it's a default shortcut, so I simply went in here and exported. I have a default shortcut for this as Control, Alt, and E. And then I created a directory called mate, and I exported it with 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1 is the top layer, and 8 or so was the last one. And it's important that you have the same order like in your image painting program in Blender, because that will affect how they overlay. Because you see when I move this one up, for example, this isn't the best example because it's all of one image, but when you make that with the mountain, you should see some differences. So you see the difference. So, long speaking, short meaning. So simply press export. I have a shortcut, and then type in whatever name you wanted to. So this is layer 2, for example. Type in 2 dot png, and here you want to have store alpha channel transparency, and then this will get black. Oh, actually let this enabled, and then it will have a transparency where a transparent is in your image, and this is really important because we will use that as a mask in Blender. So now go to Blender, and let's see, what do we have on layer 2? And here we have one of these images already. So delete that one. That's interesting. Reset the cursor and make it a little bit bigger. Turn on the screencast keys. And what I want to do right now is enable the add-on called images as planes, import export images as planes, and that will allow you, when you press Shift A, images as planes, and then you can go to your directory where you have all your images. So you see these are the images I saved out, and my mouse lagged a little bit because the battery is quite low energy. So I start with the first one, rotate it in the X direction 90 degrees, and maybe go into the material view. You see it automatically sets up a material for you, and I move it forwards, images as 8. A bit something really quick. I get my old mouse to run. No. So I have to use the one mouse I don't like. And what happened with that one? Alt G, and now move it here. Let's see, 8, 7, 6, yeah. It's also quite nice if you name it with numbers that you can simply go through and then you have the numbers going down. So now we want to set up the right material. So I go into the random mode really quick, and you see there is no transparency. So I select the first material and I add in a mix shader, and I view the alpha of the image again with the Node Wrangler add-on. It comes default with Blender, and when you press Ctrl and Shift, it will view all connections and connect the shader automatically. So you see we have the alpha as an image, and we can use this as a mask. So cut this, and where the alpha is, it is white, so it would use the bottom socket. And where it is white, we want to use our image, and otherwise we want to use a transparent, and that is transparent. And now view the shader, and you see we have the transparency. Now select these two shaders with Shift and press Ctrl C, and select the other ones, Ctrl V, and this one bottom, and the alpha texture here. And now the last one, and this one right in here. And this one doesn't need a transparency, but I add it in, no, this here and this here. So now we have that. We can go out of the random mode and show them or see them. And now actually Blender supports to show the transparency, because earlier it was just black. I didn't knew that, by the way, so I saw that now the first time. So now I wanna add in a camera if we don't have one. No, we don't have one, so I add in a camera, go into the front mode with numpad 1 and 5 to go into the orthographic view, and I press Ctrl, Alt and 0. And actually, let's see. Yeah, I want to move it here in this direction, so it's in the X direction about 0. It don't have to be perfect. And actually I have to position it in this direction. But what I want to do is I select all these images with B. This is box select. And as I already said, I use an other mouse as usual, and I hit this one. Yeah, but there is no way. So I select all these S, Y direction and -1, and now they are in the opposite order, and now it fits. So I move them up a little bit, And you see this really cool effect from the perspective shift when you scale them. So I want to scale until the first image is in the same or is in the right position. And one thing I actually forgot is to change the size of these images, because this is right now, I think, something about 2000, let's see, 2900 by 1833 pixels, and if you're intelligent, you change that to an 1080p resolution or so. 1080p, yeah, 1080p, and then it fits a little bit nicer. But yeah, I scale it along and alright until it fits, and make sure I select the right image. This one. So here it looks like all are the same size. And make these with all images. And I have to scale all these, but first select them. So this one is already scaled, this one. This one is already in the right size. And this one isn't. And this fills a big gap right here. But actually, let's see. With this a little bit more back, maybe. And it looks like I forgot an image to add here. Oh, now it looks right. And you see these are quite the same size, but I wanna make sure they are pretty close at the same size. And you see this corner right in here, but this doesn't matter. And this one right or back in here. Let's see, I think this one. It looks like it is in the wrong position. 1, 2, 3. Look in Krita. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, I messed up with something. This is in the back. Yeah, I will adjust these images, and when I have that right, I will be back. So go into random mode maybe, and you'll see it's already looking quite nice. And yeah, sorry that it's so boring, but maybe I just time-lapse this in the back or in the editing and go here to the properties really quick and change the clipping value of the camera a little bit higher and render it really quick. And now it looks better. And you see this gap in here, you don't see it that much when you have the sky. And also there's going to be much of dust in the compositing, dust or mist, and then it will look nice, I think. So add in a lamp, what we already did, and rotate it here in this direction. And I think now it's time to join the balloon to one object. So select everything and then the balloon itself, so this part up here, and press Ctrl and J. But first press Alt and C to oh, don't do it. First I want to remove the subdivision surface here. And we also have a subdivision surface on it. Yeah, now I want to select all objects and select this balloon and press Alt C and then press Ctrl J. And now this is one solid object and it has no modifiers applied to it. And it makes sense later that we remove the subdivision surface, but you will see that. And I want to move it now out of the camera view and press Shift C. And you see this border up here is the unnecessary space we had because the image was 2000 let's see, 2900 by 1800, and the camera is only 9, or actually, let's see real quick, the camera is actually 1280 by 720. So yeah, I hope you learned something new and it wasn't too boring for you, because yeah, it was really time consuming and repetitive stuff. But yeah, I hope the next part is going to be a little bit more interesting for you, and I hope I see you there. And yeah, bye.